Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode. We're going to be working on Unit 2, Lessons 1 and 2. Our topic of the day is It's My Favorite Subject. So I'd like you to think about your favorite subject and just write it down in your notebooks. Let's get started with our objectives. We're going to be working on descriptions of schools around the world. We're going to be writing your journey to school or your daily life. We will listen to a discussion about timetables. We will speak or ask and answer questions about school and timetables, and we're going to tell time and create questions in the present simple, along with learning critical thinking skills of similarities and differences throughout the whole unit. So, I want you to discuss what can you see in those photos. Let's look at the picture on the upper left-hand side. Are these girls going somewhere? Look at their clothes. They're probably wearing school uniforms. So do you think maybe they're going to catch the school bus? Or maybe they're leaving school? Let's look at the picture below. Some people are working in the science or chemistry lab, right? Let's look at the picture underneath it. And those girls are looking at a laptop. They're looking at something, and they're both wearing glasses. They seem to be discussing something they're reading on their laptops. And the last picture on the upper right-hand side is a teacher in class and the student raising her hand. Okay, now I'm going to ask you, what is the difference between a girls' school and the girls' school? Pay attention to the apostrophe. So, the first one says girl, G-I-R-L, and then apostrophe S, whereas the second one says G-I-R-L-S apostrophe. Now, you can look this up and write down what you think. Now, as we go through the unit, I want you to look through it and see if you can answer this question. Can traveling to school sometimes be difficult? Yes or no? Now, let's look at the research answers. The first part, girls' school, is the school of one girl. So if I write girl and then put an apostrophe S, this stands for singular possession. Whereas girls and the apostrophe goes after the S, that means a school for girls only. So multiple girls, more than one. Okay, now I want you to look at Amal and Inji's timetable and answer the following question. Number 1, how many lessons do they have every day? Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the answer is they have 8 and only 7 on Thursdays because the last session is cancelled on Thursday. Okay, question 2. What subjects do they study? Of course, you can easily find out because you have some images along with words. So they have Arabic, social studies, maths, science, English, religion, home economics, art, computer studies, also music and drama. Now, let's move on to the second part. We're going to listen and complete the timetable based on what we hear. So make sure your timetable is open in front of you so that you can fill in the blanks.
I like the new timetable. What's your favorite day, Inji? I like Thursday. We have social studies first on Thursday. Then we have English, and then we go to science. That's my favorite subject. My favorite days today, we have maths first and second lesson after break today. I love maths. Then we have science and art. I like art too, but I'm not very good at it. What do we have tomorrow? English, then religion is next. then Arabic, and then home economics. After break, we have social studies. Then we have science and computer studies. Finally, we have music.
So let's fill in the schedule together for the timetable together. Sunday, art. Monday, religion, Arabic, home economics, computer studies, and music. Tuesday, drama. Wednesday, drama. And Thursday, social studies and English along with science. Now, I'd like you to listen again and answer the questions. What is Inji's favorite subject? What is Inji's favorite subject? Of course, this is already done for us and it is science. Does Inji like art? Yes or no? Is she good at it? And what day is it today? You can listen to the text more than once if you need to fill in questions 2, 3, and 4. As for speaking, we're going to listen to the audio and you have to check which clock is stated first or which time is stated first.
Number 1. 10:15. Number 2. 12:30. Number 3. 5:30. Number 4. 7:25. Number 5. 5:12. Number 6. 9:15.
Now we're going to move to question 5. Look at the timetable again and ask and answer questions in pairs. What time does science start on Sunday? And what time does it finish? You can say it starts at 10 to 1 and finishes at 1:30. What time is the break? Let's go back and check. The break time is from 11 to 11:30. Or the break time is from 11 to 11:30. So that is half an hour. Now let's move on to the next part. Okay, now we're going to look quickly at the text and answer the question, when does school finish? So we're going to read it very quickly. Daily life around the world. I'm Akayo. I live in Nairobi in Kenya. This is a typical day for me. On school days, I get up at 6:30. I usually have breakfast with my family. My school is far away, so we never walk there. My mom and dad drive us there. It always takes a long time because the roads are very busy. When we hear the bell at 8 o'clock, we go to the school hall. We have our lessons. Then it is break. I usually talk with my friends in the playground, but sometimes we go to the library to read books. After break, we have more lessons. We have lunch at 12:30. School finishes at 4 o'clock. When I get home, I have something to eat. Then I always do my homework. My brother and I usually watch TV before we go to bed at about 8:30. I have a busy day. When does school finish, guys? Of course, it finishes at 4 o'clock. You can compare it to your school. What time does your school finish? Now, let's look at exercise 2. Look at the words in bold in the text. Match the words and the definitions. The first one is done for us. You can find a lot of books here, and this is, of course, the library. So, library is the place where you can find a lot of books to read. Number 2, it is in a school. You play games here. This is, of course, the playground. As for number 3, it rings when a lesson starts and finishes. This is, of course, the bell. The bell rings when a lesson starts and finishes. Number 4, it is a very big room for a lot of students and teachers. This is, of course, the hall. And number 5, this means usual. If something is usual, means we do it most of the time. It's a habit, so we call it typical. Usual means typical. Exercise 3. Read the text again if you need to and answer the questions. How does Akeo get to school? Of course, Akeo goes to school by car. Number 2. Why does it take a long time to get there? This is, of course, because the school is far away and the roads are busy. The roads are busy. Number 3. What time does school start? Of course, it starts at 8 o'clock. And number 4. What do Akeo and her friends do at break? Of course, they talk in the playground or go to the library to read books. Number 5. When does Akeo go to bed? She goes to bed at about 8:30. Let's move on to the language section. We're going to be practicing using adverbs of frequency, showing when we do something or how often we do something. Let's look at the adverbs on the right-hand side from the bottom to the top. Never means you do not do something. Sometimes means at times you do, other times you don't. Often means you do something most of the time. Usually means you do it very, very frequently, and you might miss out on doing it just a few times. As for always, we use always when we talk about something that we do on a regular basis. Look at the adverbs of frequency. How often does Akeo have breakfast with her family? She usually has breakfast with her family. So that means she does this most of the time. Number 2, do Akeo and her brother walk to school? Of course, the answer is they never walk to school. Number 3, does the trip to school take a long time? The trip always takes a long time. Number 4, does Akeo go to the library at break? She sometimes goes to the library at break time. Number 5, does Akeo do her homework? She always does her homework. And last but not least, number 6, do Akeo and her brother watch TV before they go to bed? And the answer is they usually watch TV before they go to bed. Good job, guys. Try practicing your adverbs of frequency and write your sentences down. Now we're going to jump to lesson 2. Complete the sentences about Akeo and her brother Yaro. You can use the adverbs of frequency to help you. So if we look at the table, Akeo never plays basketball. Akeo often reads English books and always helps at home. As for Yaro usually plays basketball and sometimes reads English books and always helps at home. So Akeo and Yaro have one thing in common, which is they always help at home. Let's try to fill in the blanks with the adverbs of frequency. Number 1 is done for us. Akeo never plays basketball. Number 2, Yaro blank basketball. Let's look at the code on the right-hand side and answer. The answer is, of course, usually. Yaro usually plays basketball. As for number 3, Akeo blank reads English books. If we look at the part about the English books, we'll notice that Akeo has 3 stars, and this means we use the word often or often. Number 4, Yaro reads English books. Yaro reads English books. Let's look at the English books section and see how many stars Yaro has got there. Of course, that is 2 stars, which means he's... Now, let's look at the second part. Akeo goes to school by car. How do you go to school? Fill in the table. Do you go by bus or by car as well? Third part of exercise 6. Akeo starts school at 8 o'clock. Now, fill in the time. When do you start school? And the last one. Akeo finishes school at 4 o'clock. What time do you finish school? Write your answer down in the blank part of the table in exercise 6. Let's move on to the next exercise. Life skills. Compare your typical day with Akeo's day. What is the same and what is different? We both get up at 6:30. Or Akeo never walks to school. I sometimes walk to school. So compare your life to Akeo and write down how you have similarities or things that are the same that you do, and what are the things that are different. Now we'll jump to the speaking section. We're going to ask and answer questions in pairs. How often do you get up at 6:30 a.m.? I never get up at 6:30 a.m. That's way too early for me. Okay, let's read the expressions in the word box. Get up at 6:30, go to bed at 8:30, help at home, play basketball, read English books, walk to school, watch TV in the evening. So just pick 2 to 3 expressions and practice using them. So I might use read English books. I would say, I read English books twice a week, or I read English books every day. We can say, I watch TV in the evening, or you can say, I often watch TV in the evening. That means I don't do it every day, but I do it a lot. Now, let's jump to our writing section. Compare your day with your friend's day and use adverbs of frequency. So I want you to pair up with a friend, even if you do it over the phone or over the internet, and discuss those questions together. What do you both usually do? How do you both feel when you do this? So if I were to speak about my friend Shireen, both of us usually travel, and we feel very good when we travel. Our next question is, what time do you both do it? Well, if we travel, we like to travel early, so we might do it at 6 a.m. in the morning. What about you? What time do you do those activities with your friends? Next question, what do you both sometimes or often do? Okay. We often have breakfast at 9 a.m. So we both often have breakfast at 9 a.m. What about you and your friends? What is something you both do sometimes or often? What do you both always do? What is something both of you always do? You can say, we always take a bath before bedtime. Or, we always brush our teeth before we go to sleep. What do you both never do? You can say, we never bother anyone in class. Or you can say, we never drink milk before bed. Think about the things you do that are similar with your friend or that are different, and share your answers through writing. Make sure you use complete sentences. Now, that's a wrap for today. We have read descriptions of schools around the world. We have written your journey to school and daily life. We listened to a discussion about timetables. We asked and answered questions about schools and timetables. We were learning how to tell time, and we learned questions in the present simple. And of course, our main life skills for the whole unit is critical thinking, similarities, and differences. That's a wrap. You guys did a great job today. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.